Hi, so it's me again. I'll try and keep my head the right way around this time. A little story for you. So on Saturday night, I was invited to for an Apero. So an Apero is like, normally it takes about an hour or an hour and a half where you sort of have a drink and a small snack around about 7 o'clock in the evening. Um, and This was the sister of Jean Claude, who lives about a mile away. And So I went up there and went up there obviously with Jean Claude and his wife Melissa, who is Moroccan, and Patricia and her husband were there. And there was a very, very sort of obnoxious Parisian, who I won't mention her name, but she was very, very rude all evening to Melissa. Sort of talking down to her. And Melissa, although she's Moroccan, she'd lived in Paris about 30 years herself. She knows the area, obviously she knows Paris like the back of her hand, but this Parisian was sort of having none of it and kept trying to explain this isn't that and that isn't this. And It really kind of tainted the evening to a degree. I think the reason I was asked up there is that Jean Claude's sister's looking to redevelop her. So it's got like an ensuite bathroom that she's hoping to have put in place. So although I'm saying an ensuite bathroom, it's a room at the moment that's adjoining one of the bedrooms, and it's just at one time I think it was just for storage, because a lot of these places were sort of farm based, so it would have been storing hay and stuff like that, or animal foods. And she's got the idea now that she'd quite like to take that apart. She needs to raise the ceiling a wee bit. The ceilings are very, very low. And I think that's one of the reasons also I've asked over, other than the fact that I'm charming company when I'm out and about. That was that. So like I said, the only downside to it was this really obnoxious Parisian woman. Um, they're rarer than you think actually. Normally, most prisons I've come across are really, really nice people. But this one in particular, because she'd been born in the first arrondissement, and she lived in the sixth arrondissement, and these are all sort of real sort of upper class parts of Paris, bit like if you're, I suppose, born in Kensington or something like that. And then you've got all the airs and graces about that. It didn't impress me at all. It doesn't impress other people, and I just found her very, very rude. And it's unfortunate in life you come across people like this. So that was my little story of the Apero. And in fact, actually, although Apero is normally it's about an hour and a half, this one went on until after midnight. It was obviously we spoke about lots and lots of things. The couple whose house it was, the sister of Jean Claude, they'd had a restaurant. They had a restaurant in Vendôme, which I visited recently, the town, not the restaurant. And so they'd spent donkey's years sort of in the catering industry before they sort of sold up and retired. So that's quite interesting from that. And they've been all over the world, and it's quite obviously interesting to hear other people's stories and that. And they were just asking me my views on Brexit and all the rest of it. And if you know me, you'll know that I'm not a fan of Brexit at all. I think it's catastrophic for the UK, and I don't think anybody's benefited from it. All the people that thought that something better was going to happen, it hasn't. Anyway, that's leaving sort of politics aside. So it were many, many conversations we had about various bits and pieces. So it was a really enjoyable evening. It went on for hours and hours. And I just thought you might want to be interesting to hear how life goes. I mean, was just an evening out. Um, Often you get invited. When I lived in Normandy, we often had a pair with the neighbours there. So sometimes we've got to their house, and sometimes they've come to our house. But in those instances, it was only ever about an hour. That was sort of maximum. Normally, it's just like a bit of news, what have you been up to during the week, and that. But on this one, I suppose, because I have met his sister before, long time ago, so I did sort of know them, but I'd never really spoken to them. And a couple of days beforehand, they'd come round here, and Melissa said, "Oh, you've got to see Michael's house. You've got to see Michael's house." So she come in, and she was, and actually, obviously because she's the sister of Jean Claude, her grandmother used to own this house, and she was saying it's like night and day, the difference between as it was then, obviously how she remembered it as a child, and how it looks now. That was quite nice to sort of be having sort of compliments like that. And it was at that point then that she'd said, like, why don't you, we're going to have an Apero Saturday evening, why don't you come over Jean Claude and that, and you can see my house as well. So that's what we did. So a very, very lovely couple, and obviously Jean Claude and Melissa are a lovely couple as well. And I had to sort of bite my lip a lot with the woman, the sort of the Obnoxious Parisian, because I really like Melissa. She's a lovely lady, and she didn't need to be sort of attacked in that way, you know, talked down to. So that was that. That's about it really. I mean, currently I'm in the garden. I've been sort of playing around a bit with the trolley that I bought, sort of trying to lighten it down a wee bit, make it look a bit not exactly modern, but better. Oiled the wheels and stuff like that, and it's looking better. I'm still doing wee bits of footage for when I finally get the laptop back and I can do some sort of proper videos again. So apologies because you're not seeing anything other than my ugly head chatting away about whatever's happened over the past few days. So that's that. So I don't think there's any more news to say for today. We're back into what the French call canicule, or heat wave. Temperatures are going to be rising again now. It's already hot here, and it's going to get well into the 30s today, and a little bit, which is the Tuesday, and tomorrow it's going to get even hotter. So I've gone around the garden. I water the garden twice a day anyway, in the morning and in the evening. So I've given it a damn good soaking, and it's looking not too bad at all. And the plants are doing well. The fish are doing well. Still seeing lots of lizards and that sort of wandering around the walls and on the front as well. Do need to sort of trim it up again a wee bit, just tidy up where the paths are, so that it doesn't feel too obstructive when you're trying to bring stuff in, like suitcases or whatever in. So that's what I'll be doing over today, and finishing off the bedding. So if everything's dried, everything that went out on the line yesterday is dry, and a wee bit of ironing to do, and then setting up the beds and that, and that should be ready for the next people coming in. And I've obviously sent them a note explaining sort of we've got a key box at the front of the house and stuff like that, and how to access that. The Wi-Fi code is on the free box, and just things like that, so that everybody sort of, and I'll always leave, although the water here is drinkable, the tap water, you can drink the water. I always leave bottles of water anyway. Just some people don't, just prefer just using bottled water, so I've done that anyway. That's the end of this little talking head. I hope that when you see this, my head is the right way around and not like it was yesterday. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.